Welcome back to Winter Pride 2020. I am your host for this upcoming run. I'm Frozen Flygon, super excited to be here. Thank you to everyone who has been watching and donating. I am so excited for this upcoming run of Octopath Traveler, all female travelers with Leggy Starscream. What's up, Leggy? How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Gosh, this has been a really good marathon so far, and I'm super excited to show this game off.
Absolutely. We ready to jump on into the run and get going with all the girls?
Yeah, so first things first, we have to pick our starting character. You'll notice that if you haven't seen this game before, Octopath Traveler, there are 8 travelers. I'll let you figure out where the name comes from. And we can start with any character we want, but for this run, we're going to start with Hanit for a couple of reasons that we'll get into as we go. Time starts when I hit yes here, so I'm going to count us down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And
good luck.
Thank you. So Octopath Traveler is a JRPG that was released, not that long ago on Switch, and then it got ported to PC, which is what I play on. Messed up my menu already, which is unfortunate.
Menuing is literally the hardest part of any game.
Right?
Like, this is why I don't run RPGs, because menuing is so hard.
So Hanit is a beast mistress, and one of the things you'll find about me playing this game is, so I picked up this game, I want to say like 9 months ago at this point, and I still don't know any of the lore. I have not actually sat down and watched the cutscenes ever. So I don't actually know why we're fighting these people, but, you know, they are green. Green is the color of plot. So I gotta fight them.
Absolutely.
So Hanit's special ability, beyond her job, which is currently Hunter, is to summon and capture beasts. People often call her like a Pokemon trainer, but it's like, what if your Pokemon also had also ran back off into the wild after they ran out of power points for the one attack they know? So now I have to run into this forest. And we're going to get some quick tutorials about the basic mechanics of the game. The first one is breaking enemies. You'll notice that I just broke that squirrel. It said break in bold letters. It looks like it's stunned. All enemies have that shield value under their sprite with a number of boxes next to it. Those boxes represent weaknesses from different types of attack, be them, you know, different weapons or different magical elements. If you hit them a number of times equal to the shield, they break, they are stunned, and if all enemies on a screen are stunned, you can run away from them 100% of the time. Additionally, all stunned enemies take double damage from everything. Mm-hmm. If you hit an enemy's weakness, it does bonus damage, but the double damage is basically supersedes that.
Yeah. I really love the combat system in this game. I think it's really intuitive, but also like really intriguing for each of the characters.
Yeah. And then the other main mechanic is the boost system, which you'll notice that on the side of my character, I've got a like meter at the top that has 5 different dots in it. That you get 1 point every turn if you didn't use a boost skill the previous turn. and you can spend up to 3 of them to boost your skills, making them better in skill-dependent ways. A lot of the times, this is just, you do a lot more damage with this attack.
Yeah.
And in other cases, it's you do multiple hits with this attack. So understanding when and where to use various amounts of boosting versus knowing how to best exploit a broken enemy is one of the key elements to running this game at a top level. So like I just did on this boss, I broke it and then I boosted a huge attack on it to do like a lot of damage. And here I want to Rain of Arrows. Rain of Arrows is a multi-hit attack. It is guaranteed to hit at least 3 times. So that was, I knew I was going to get the break there, and then I can True Strike for a lot of damage, and boom, our first boss is down.
Well done.
15 more to go.
So yeah, you want to talk a little bit about like what are the win requirements of all female travelers? How is this different than a single story run?
Yeah, so in a single story run, you pick a character, and then you run through that character's story, doing all 4 chapters that character has. For all female travelers, we kind of took like 4 single story runs and then smushed them all together into one run. So we're going to be getting all the girls. So Hanit, Tressa, Ophelia, and Primrose. And we're going to be doing all of their stories. And time will be at the very end when I finish Hanit's final chapter.
That's pretty awesome. I think that's such a unique way to route this game.
Yeah, and it's basically the same rationale behind all main stories. Mm-hmm. Which is that basically this category, but instead of just doing the female travelers, you do all 8 travelers.
Yep.
Then of course, there's the Galdera runs, which involve taking on the hidden super boss at the end of everything. Mm-hmm. But this is actually kind of an interesting midway point between the way that single story runs go versus the long categories, because on the one hand, we don't really worry about getting the secret jobs in this category, which are used to great extent in the super long categories. And this one, it's short enough that we can still mostly get by just by spamming hired help, which I will get into hired help. I did an entire hour-long presentation on hired help.
Spamming hired help? No way!
Yeah. So if you've watched any single segment Octopath run, or single story Octopath run, you know that hired help is kind of ridiculous.
Absolutely busted.
Yeah. And wow, what was that luck from running on that one?
So rude.
Yeah. And the other main thing about Octopath runs is that they tend to happen in 2 phases, especially for these non-full game categories. The first phase is running around and tagging all of the various towns we're going to go to for fast traveling purposes. And while we're doing that, we'll be going around, we'll be opening a bunch of boxes, we'll be hitting a bunch of job shrines, we'll be trying to get all the resources we need. And then the second phase of the game is just what if we took this JRPG and turned it into a boss rush? Anyway, so I am running. I am trying to get. Ooh. Okay, we're gonna try it.
I believe.
Okay. The cat is down. I'm gonna heal for safety. Cool. So that's nice. That Cat or Kate or Ket, I'm not 100% sure how it's supposed to be pronounced.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Is the metal slime of Octopath Traveler. They're super evasive, super hard to hit, but worth so much experience. And so getting that there is just really just super lucky.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It basically streamlines the whole next section. Otherwise, I have to go into a high level area and try to fish for like one of two particular encounters. And it's this whole RNG slog to get all of the job points I need for the single most important ability in all of Octopath speedrunning.
Mm-hmm.
You all know it. You all love, question mark, it? That's right. It's evasive maneuvers, baby.
Let's go.
Yeah, so I'm going to pick up the Scholar. I'm going to teach Firestorm and Lightning Blast to Hanit.
Yeah, I absolutely love the fact that you can give someone secondary job. It just like really opens up the customization of the characters. It's so cool.
Yeah, and it allows you to do a lot of really interesting combinations that allow you to just do some really interesting things in terms of like party construction.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, and I think it just like it makes the job point system really interesting. So you have to think about like, who do I want to have these jobs, and I love the complexity it adds to the party.
Yeah, and especially because each job comes with, you know, the various passive abilities.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like, okay, you know, yeah, I know I want Hani to be my Scholar for now, for instance. But also I want her to get like a whole bunch of apothecary skills so she can get, you know, this one passive or whatever.
Right.
And being able to stack your passives regardless of which jobs you have equipped just adds that extra layer of ridiculous complexity on top of things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, anyway, with the Scholar, the first passive skill you unlock by learning 2 extra skills is evasive maneuvers, which means encounters happen about half as often. Practically what this means is I can run from one side to the other on most screens without getting a random encounter.
Yeah, it's just such a blessing for speedrunning. You know, you only want to have encounters when you want to be having them, and it just makes you be able to go into places you should not be allowed to.
Oh yeah, and there will be plenty of us sticking our nose into places that we have no right to be. I'm going to pop over here, tag Rippletide. I'm actually not going to pick people up for now. I'm going to run off to kind of a far corner of the map with evasive maneuvers on so that I don't really have to worry too much about various encounters. And once I do that, I'll teleport back and pick up our First two characters that we're adding. Right, you're weak to spears. Keep forgetting that. Too much free enterprise. I keep seeing the birds and going, oh, you're weak to bows.
Always. Definitely one of those things where like my first character was Cyrus, so I always had a weakness that was shown, and I'm very impressed with how, you know, all y'all speedrunners have to remember what everyone is weak to.
I mean, at a certain point, enemies are just weak to critical amounts of damage.
Fair. I mean, fair.
And for all of the boss fights, they are incredibly scripted. So I don't remember what bosses are weak to. I just follow the notes I have on what to do each turn. This is my secret.
Time to read a donation in here?
Yeah, go for it. I'm just going to be running around for a while, so.
Nice. We have $25 from Absurd Bird with no comment. Thank you so much for your donation. I just wanted to talk a little bit about, we have an upcoming incentive for Giraffe and Anika to raise the rhythm game difficulty. So we would play the boss fights on hard, which sounds so much fun and really exciting to see. And we are at $213 out of 1,000. So if you want to see that happen, let's get our donations in for Giraffe and Anika.
Come on, Chad, I believe in you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're just gonna start on each chapter 2, and we'll get around to that later. If you have any other things you want to read off, now is actually a really good time to do that.
Yeah, sure. We do have another thing to read off. We have $5 from Demarine that says, I love evasive maneuvers, and I love Leggy, and I love Ophelia. This game is wonderful, and so are all of you, Heart. Thanks so much, Demi.
Hi, Demi. I recognize that this is only fair, but also, that's really sweet. Yeah. Anyway, evasive maneuvers don't always save us on every screen. For instance, that one. But that particular run is one of the ones where I know that it can get a little nasty. So there's a reason. That's why I dropped that quick save on that book, just to make sure that I wasn't beating my head against that wall for days to come. This screen is yeah. This screen is also another one where the run can be a little nasty. So I actually have it routed in to do a quick save and reset here, which actually does reset the threat meter. So every time I take a step, I'm building up threat. Saving and resetting does actually reset that, so I can finish out the run without running into an encounter.
I really love the art in this game as well. It's just so beautiful, the sprite work and the texturing, like seeing the sand sparkle, it's just beautiful.
Right. Yeah, no, you can tell just how much love and care went into making this game just so incredibly gorgeous.
Mm-hmm. Just the detail work is beautiful.
So you saw me doing this a little bit earlier, but another thing that resets your threat is starting a random fight and then running away with provoke. So by provoking that guy down there, I'm able to finish out the screen without seeing a random encounter. I'm going to be doing it again on this screen with that random old best-selling author there.
Also, I love how you're in like casual danger level 45. Like, no big deal. I'm just a character by myself in a level 45 area.
At like level like 7.
Yeah, like wow.
And yeah, I just have no fear right now. Okay, never mind. I'm level 14. Still though.
Slight fear, you would think, but with tactical maneuvering, we're good.
Little of fear is a treat.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to tag Grandport, which is going to be important because that's actually the final town for Tressa's story. So we'll need to come back here eventually.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I just love how generous this game's fast travel system is.
Oh, it's so good. It really made the rest of the game just flow so well.
Yeah. And it makes the routing in this game and category just so nice. So, teleport back here. At any time from anywhere, I can teleport to any town I've visited before, even momentarily. Okay. So there's Ophelia, and we're going to go knock out her boss very quickly. Because some of the things we've been picking up are money, but the other main thing we've been picking up are what are known as soul stones. And soul stones are kind of like magical elemental grenades. They are single-use consumable items that do a fixed amount of elemental damage. And since we know what various bosses are weak to, and because all these Chapter 1 bosses don't have a lot of HP because, you know, you're not supposed to be very strong yet, well, this fight, I'm going to throw a Wind Soul Stone and a Thunder Soul Stone, and the fight will be over.
Easy peasy. The game doesn't expect you to have those strong soul stones at this point, or know to use them, I guess. Wow, GG, that was easy.
Yeah. So that's another boss down. 14 more to go.
Let's go.
Gonna come back here. We're gonna go grab Tressa.
Tressa!
Tressa, of course, is a merchant, which means she is not only overpowered, she is also best girl.
I am Tressa. I am small, excited gal. Loves shiny things. Very excited all the time.
Yeah. So, we didn't get into Ophelia's special ability, but she has the power of guide, which allows her to lead someone using the power of whatever the religion in this game is. I'm assuming.
Flame. The power of the flame.
There we go.
Yeah.
And so basically, kind of works a little bit but like Hanif's Pokemon training, except you only get one person at a time rather than a whole collection of Pokemon. You can also use it to complete side quests by leading one person to another in order to, you know, help various people with various troubles. Tressa has two main abilities. The first one is that she can buy things from people, which we will make good use of because a lot of random NPCs just have a lot of randomly good stuff that we can buy off them. A lot of soul stones.
Yep.
And then the other thing that she does is every time we go onto a new screen, she has a chance of just randomly finding extra money. And that's great. I love passive income. And some of our money routing in this game is based around like, okay, we need to sell off up to this level because we know that Tressa is going to find a certain amount of extra money to get us to the specific threshold we need.
I'm so grateful this game has the skip cutscene. It just makes life so good.
Right?
Just so good.
And once again, it makes it so that I don't know any of the lore.
Tressa is good. That is the lore.
Yes. I've actually got a follower incentive on my channel where when I get 500 followers, I'm going to do a cutscene % all main stories run. So that I will lore. Yeah, I will finally sit down and learn the lore.
Yes. I love that for you.
Yeah. Anyway, we're back into kind of an exploring section. I'm going to be running around a bunch. We're actually going to run all the way up to Tressa's second chapter, so now is another great time for anything you have to share.
Absolutely. I want to talk a little bit about the Trevor Project, which we're raising money for this event. So, a majority of youth choose to contact the Trevor Project rather than other providers because the organization is LGBTQ affirming and a trusted provider of crisis services. 90% of young people who reach out to Trevor experience de-escalation from suicidal thoughts. One supportive person can decrease an LGBTQ youth's risk of suicide by 30%. Trevor Project aims to always be there for LGBTQ youth in crisis with a clear message. They should be proud of who they are and that they are not alone. And I absolutely love what the Trevor Project is doing, and all the donations done during this marathon will go directly towards that charity. So thank you to everyone who has been watching and donating.
Yeah, it really does mean a lot to so many people. Like, I know a few people who have used the resources that the Trevor Project provides, and it is a really good organization. Whew. Okay, got away first try from that random fight, so that's good. That's another one where it's kind of a range as to whether or not you'll get it based off of like how perfect your movement is and just a little bit of actual honest to goodness randomness.
Randomness in my RPG speedrun?
Right?
More likely than you think.
I mean, is it though?
Exactly as likely as I think because of statistics.
Anyway, so we're actually going to start a certain amount of this particular chapter, go through a little bit of it, just because at a certain point during this, we have to go all the way back to the back of the town, and it's honestly faster just to go all the way to the back of the town, finish up, think, I forgot to buy soul stones. This is what happens when I try and talk too much.
I also just love the music in this game so much. I listen to it all the time, and I also listen to the like remix album that the composer put out. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, everything about this game is a bop. All right. So we're coming back here. We are once again avoiding doing anything resembling plot for a bit.
Plot?
Yeah, and we have one last final spot we want to run off to before we start doing actual plot things again. Swing around this way. Grab you. Grab you. Save it, put on this book. And once again, we are in a part of the map that we have absolutely no right in being.
Is there a huge difference between running on PC and running on Switch?
Load times mostly.
Okay.
Also, running on PC is a lot easier for me in terms of streaming because being able to, you know, I don't have a Switch capture card.
Right, being able to just stream directly, essentially.
Yeah. Also, I'd have to borrow either Zoe or Amethyst's Switch because I don't actually own one.
Gotcha.
But yeah, the big answer is load times. I believe PC is faster just because of the way that, things are structured. But fundamentally, it's the same game. Okay, we're gonna grab that big stack of 50K.
Let's go.
Yeah. Just ridiculous amounts of money. And so actually, fun fact about this category in particular is that the route I'm running is relatively new. There was an older route that did like a lot more running around and collecting things, until a few people on the Discord went, "Hey, you know what we pick up to sell? The Death Cleaver. You know what job really works well with a, powerful axe like that? Apothecary."
True.
So a lot of, first try run there. That one's always a very scary one. Tagging that screen that asks, "Do you actually want to do this fight?" Also is a spot that resets my threat. So this category actually got rerouted a bit to use a lot less in the way of consumable items and money, and instead throw out massive amounts of damage with the Death Cleaver.
That's really cool how it's still kind of changing and developing.
Yeah, and that was a few months ago. Like, I think my first run with my PB on the leaderboard using this new route was like 3 months ago. Up here, grab that. Back to Swarky. So yeah, while I do a little more running around, and we've got a bit more downtime for now, so I will throw it back on over to you for a bit.
Sure, absolutely. I'll talk a little bit about, what we're doing here. So, you're watching Winter Pride 2020 here on Twitch. We're running from December 11th through the 13th for 24 hours a day. And we are benefiting the Trevor Project, which I talked about a little bit earlier. To find more about them, you can find the link to their site in the panels below the stream or use !charity. If you're interested in donating, you can type !donate in chat. Find the schedule by using !schedule or sign us with !schedules. And we're here with Octopath Traveler, all female travelers, super exciting category. And you can check, all the upcoming incentives and games we have for the rest of the marathon. Thank you so much for being here and watching.
So chat, I have a challenge for you. I want you to donate to tell me who your favorite Octopath Traveler is.
Ooh.
And if it isn't Tressa, defend yourself.
Exactly. I definitely really partial to my first two characters were Tressa and Cyrus. Those are my top two.
Mm-hmm.
Both in terms of I really connected with them in the story, and they're really good in the fights.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the first run I learned was Tressa. That's because it's also the shortest of the single segment runs.
It's just the best, that's why.
Yeah. What else is there to say?
Mm-hmm. I think they all have different, like, you've never seen the story, so this is kind of funny, but like they all have different parts of the story that make them really compelling. Like some of them immediately I'm like, oh, I'm hooked on your story, and some of them it's kind of a slow burn of like, okay, I'm getting more intrigued, and by the last chapter it's like, wow, I really am into this. It's really interesting.
Yeah. We're gonna come up here, tag this town, gonna pop it back over to Quarry Crest. This is another one of those spots where the run down from here to the Thief Shrine is a bit of a range. So if we get the encounter, we can just throw a soulstone at it. But if we don't, that's even better. Okay. And so here is our fourth girl, Primrose.
Primrose, love her.
Yeah. Primrose's special ability is that she can seduce people, which works exactly the same as guiding, except there's like a whole level system. Guide just fails if you're trying to guide someone who's too high level, but seduce has a chance to succeed. Anyway, here's our final chapter 1 boss. Swings for a lot of damage, but is fundamentally a chump.
Bam. Soulstones just continue to be amazing.
Right. Yeah. Unfortunately, they're starting with it. At this point, soulstones kind of fall off in their usefulness. It's really nice when bosses have like less than 10k HP to throw 2 soulstones at them. But now we're starting to get into bosses where they have like 20k HP. So we'll still use the soulstones to get in little bits of like chip damage, but now we need to actually start thinking about like strategy and how to break bosses rather than just throwing rocks at them until they explode.
Explosions, I'm in.
What about Greg explosions?
Yeah.
Anyway, we're actually going to complete our first chapter 2 here. We're going to actually kind of go through Ophelia's story first before really diving into the other stories, because completing Ophelia's story actually unlocks a side quest that we want to do, because it offers some, well, one particular piece of gear that's going to be really useful. So here we guide this kid with the power of the flame. Have what I can only assume is a flashback based off the sepia tone. And head out of town. So Flygon,
What's up?
are you ready for the longest grind in this game?
I am so
for
ready.
this run?
Absolutely. What do we gotta do? We gotta level up these gals.
Yeah. So here's the first fight that we're gonna grind. And it's really easy, we can just throw a soul stone at it.
Love it.
Not that big a deal. But yeah, that's a healthy chunk of experience, but more importantly, job points.
We just hecked that whooper, didn't we?
Oh yeah. The whooper and those praying mantis dogs in the background.
Yes. More money, of course, always good.
Yup. Especially because we're going to be spending so much money, we're trying to pick up as much as we can. And here's part number 2 of the grind.
Let's go.
Boom, grind's over.
I love it. Wow, what a good game.
Right? Alright, so equip Hanit. Death Cleaver. Jobs. Hanit gets Leg Hold and Aerostorm and becomes an Apothecary and gets Amputation. Ophelia becomes a Warrior and gets 1,000 Spears. Tressa gets Donate BP, Hired Help, goes over, becomes a Scholar, and gets Blizzard. And Primrose becomes a Thief and gets Armor Corrosive. And that's yet another menu out of the way. There's gonna be a lot of it. I got that encounter kind of early, so I'm gonna save here just to be like overly safe. Alright, so these skills, Armor Corrosive, Warrior skills, 1,000 Spears, Hanit gives Tressa a Pomegranate, and Tressa Scholar skills, Blizzard.
Scholar's just so good. I really like I'm always partial to magic in games, but the magic here is just so good. So it just attacks everyone.
Yup. And the nice thing is it's attacks that do multiple hits.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's that. New Death Cleaver amputation that got routed in, doing that, nice big old 5k hit. And then hired help coming out, doing 4 hits for 7k each, because when you're spending 30 grand on a single attack, you'd better make it worthwhile.
Oh yeah, Wang Fu, I love the class outfits. They are so cute. Oh my goodness. I absolutely love them.
I love how each character has like their own unique spin on the various outfits.
Cyrus Dancer is like the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life. It's so good.
Okay. So when I was learning this run, it took me forever to find where that lady's house was to buy that stuff. Like, I actually had to sit down and watch a video of a run of this to, like, actually know where that was. But that's one of the interesting things about Octopath speedrunning in general, is, like, so many of the routes use the same, like, bit of resource.
Mm-hmm.
So like the stuff we picked up when we were doing that early run out to Grandport is stuff that's used in a number of different categories. Obviously things like Trestle Single Story will go back there and get exactly that stuff because you want to tag Grandport anyway because you need to go there eventually. And so as you learn more categories of this game, you start to learn where the different things that the different routes want you to pick up are.
Mm-hmm.
Teleport down to Stoneguard. And we're actually going to take a quick break from doing plot again. Still ignoring Hanit Chapter 2. But we are going to run down to Marsalam, which is where Hanit's final chapter takes place. And I think that's one of the things I really love about this game in particular, is that, a lot of games just have any percent and 100%, and like maybe a few other slightly memeier categories. But this game is basically 8 different games in one if you want to do single stories, plus the 2 full game categories, plus a whole bunch of, like, let's face it, all of the specific party routes are, they're a little memey. They only, all female travelers, all male travelers, all nobles and all rogues, nobles and rogues being a distinction between the different classes, only recently got promoted to being full, like, quote-unquote real categories.
Right.
On the leaderboard specifically, like, every category of every speedrun category is real, but they only just got that promotion from category extension on the leaderboard to being a full-fledged, just regular category.
Yeah. I do love how many different routes there are in this game. It's really cool.
Yeah. And like they all have a lot of similarities, but they all have their subtle differences because, you know, like for a lot of the single story categories, it's like, okay, what can you do with the stuff you're getting from the location you're going to?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to go everywhere and get all the things if you don't have to. So Honey goes to being a merchant, learns NE2, and then goes back to being an apothecary. Primrose, merchant, donate, hired help, back to thief. Tressa gets firestorm, and you go to merchant, donate, hired, and then support skills, we just throw everything on everyone. Back to Goldshore. Helps to teleport to the right town.
Menuing is the hardest part of video games.
Right? And like, doing the teleport map fast is kind of tricky.
Yeah.
Because your cursor will snap to towns. And if it snaps to the town you don't want, you might not notice if you're like, especially if you're playing on keyboard like I do. Because this game does support controller, and I hear it is a little bit easier to do quickly on controller because you do have those, like, you do have that analog direction.
Right, that makes sense. Can take some different angles.
Yeah. And also, like, fine-tune the velocity based off of how hard you push it.
Mm-hmm.
But the nice thing about playing on keyboard is, you know, when you want to go in a specific cardinal or intercardinal direction, you will go that direction. You can only push so many buttons. And so we're coming up on Ophelia's Chapter 3 boss, which can technically be a little tricky if you try and do your battle menus too fast. But if you follow the script, you are 100% safe in this fight. And frankly, in a lot of these fights.
Yeah, I love the boss strategies are very, you know, kind of, you have to have definitely a lot of game knowledge, but it's not like super stressful boss fights constantly.
Yeah, and like a lot of bosses will just do a lot of like kinds of setup turn one.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a turn to do things. Bosses that don't do that, Darius, are kind of annoying to deal with. Okay. That's that. So there's one of them broken. Honey is going to ask some questions. No, that pun never gets old. Throw a large stone. Now, apologies for the road noise. And that's the fight.
Nice job.
Yeah. So it's really easy to accidentally spend more BP than you need to on certain parts of that fight, which I definitely messed up in practice at least once this week. Cool. So now we've been putting it off for like almost an hour now. Fine, I'll do Honey Chapter 2.
Let's do it.
I mean, the real reason we have been putting it off is to get Hani the ability to tank these solo fights that she has to do as part of her plot. But luckily, these are easily handled via Soulstone. If you saw that flash in Hani's eye, that means I got an endless item proc. Endless items is one of the support abilities that I put on everyone that gives me a 25% chance of having a consumable item not be consumed. So that was actually some really good luck there.
If someone wanted to get into speedrunning Octopath Traveler, like maybe me, for instance, what is the best way to do so?
So what I would recommend is just on the speedrun.com page, there's a link to like a list of route notes that have like all of the information about all of the current top routes in this game. And honestly, I would just pick a single story run for a character you really like, and just sit down and just walk through it. You know, your first runs are always going to be a little rough, especially if you don't remember where all of the specific treasures are.
For sure, that makes sense.
But
they seem like pretty forgiving runs, you know, pretty cozy. Like the notes all seem to be really in order.
Yeah, and the other nice thing about this game, in terms of that forgivingness that you mentioned, is the autosave feature of this game. Where every time I walk across a screen transition, the game will autosave. So if you wipe to a random encounter or a fight, or you mess up a boss or something, it will reset you back just to the beginning of the screen you're on. Granted, not everything will cause autosaves to happen, and this has bit me a couple of times. Teleporting does not autosave.
Sure.
Plot movement, so like if you're in a cutscene and it moves you to a new screen, does not autosave.
Got it.
Let's see here, this needs to go on Ophelia. But you can always just wander off the, side of the screen you're on to force an autosave to happen. And I'll probably do that at least once, you know, just in this run alone.
Makes sense.
Okay. Let's get all this hired help. It's 3. Specifically, you know, we're in a marathon. Marathon safety is important.
Absolutely.
Medium stone. Uses a large stone.
I love this big tree deer creature.
Right?
Just all of the enemies in this game are so artistically beautiful.
And so there's our first use of the merchant collect skill, which picks up extra money from the enemy, which is super nice. Because holy heck, do we need money?
Holy heck, is money important all the time in this game?
Pop over here. But yeah, so this game is just really gentle and forgiving if you want to complete a run. Obviously, when you start competing for better and better times and better places, things can start pushing back against you. But if you're just trying to get from point A to point B, get a run done because you really want to run this game, it is really, really easy to get started because you will get there eventually if you just follow the notes and retry whatever things mess up.
That's really great. That's awesome.
Yeah, and that's actually kind of like the other half of the ethos I have in the games I speedrun. Like, yeah, I love games that have a lot of RNG because I like the unpredictability keeping me on my toes. But I also like games where if you fail something for whatever reason, it's not a... it doesn't, you know, completely destroy things. It just loses time.
Right. That's great.
Yeah, so that's the one use of Arrow Storm we have in this game, or this run, to break those drakes in particular. So that we can make it all the way up here to Whisper Mill.
Mm-hmm.
That I need to buy Clamor because sadly I have to fight Simeon, who is the worst evolution. All right. If you have anything else you'd like to share, we've got a quick moment for a few things as I run through this cave.
Sure thing. Yeah, while we're running through this cave, I can talk a little bit about the Trevor Project, which is the charity that we are fundraising for all weekend. So the Trevor Project is the world's largest suicide prevention and crisis intervention organization for LGBTQ young people. The organization works to save young lives by providing support through free and confidential suicide prevention and crisis intervention programs on platforms where young people spend their time. Their 24/7 phone lifeline, chat, text, and soon-to-come integrations with social media platforms. They also run Trevor Space, the world's largest safe space social networking site for LGBTQ youth, and operate innovative education, research, and advocacy programs. So every single dollar that is donated during Winter Pride 2020 is going towards the Trevor Project and can really make a huge difference for queer individuals throughout the country.
Yeah. So let's, now that that's done, I can do some quick menuing. You're that. Jobs. Primrose goes to Apothecary, learns any 3 skills, goes back to being a thief. And that pattern is going to continue. Yeah. So basically what we're trying to do is pick up the specific passive Hale and Hardy, which is just a flat 500 HP boost. I want Insight, I want 1,000 Spears, back to Apothecary, Rehab, and Poison. Yeah. Okay. And then healing. I am going to save here because the first fight has the ability to go off the rails if the enemies decide not to cooperate. They decided to cooperate.
Nice.
That's good.
You love to hear it.
You really do. So now that they're all broken, I just throw a couple of soul stones. I'm going to take stock of how many I have. So I'm just going to break this with 2 large. Because I'm actually running... Wow. That was... You'll love to see the double endless item proc. All right. He goes first and defends. Tressa, Scholar Skill, Blizzard. Yeah, the nice thing about, this slightly longer category is we have the ability to actually get all of the defensive abilities that we need to be able to, tank these hits.
Mm-hmm.
So break. Skills. Big hired help. pomegranate to Ophelia. Skills. Big hired help.
Do boosts impact the damage that hired help does, or no?
Yes.
They do.
Mostly they give it more hits, but it actually scales the amount of damage the hits do down.
Wow, interesting.
But overall, the hits, it will do more damage as you boost.
Got it. Okay.
But the amount of damage per hit is going to go down.
Got it.
Oh, now that we're done here, actually, I think we're gonna take a break from Octopath. Just gonna play a quick game of Celeste. You down?
I'm in. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, so we've got 2 girls here. And we're just gonna go up to the top of the mountain.
All right, cool. I can just take over for a hot second. Let me just use the keyboard and dash up to the top. It'll be great.
Yeah, we're already done. See?
I'm so good at this game. That was amazing.
We all know you're an incredible Celeste player, so.
Fiend.
Yep. So that is 1 story down, 3 more to go. Buy up all that. Buy the pomegranate. Buy the pomegranate. Do the most important thing and pet the dog.
Yes, you must.
Yeah. So this lady we're actually going to hold on to for a while. And it's important that I guide her and not allure her, because we need to have the allure slot free to do Primrose plot stuff.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Yeah, so if I allured her, when Primrose allures some people for plot reasons, she'll actually go back here, and I get sad.
That is sad. I didn't think about that interaction and how that would work.
Buy your pomegranates. A palm of power. Anyway, now that we've started this plot off, we need to run back to the first screen of the town and buy the plot item off of the bully, who says, "But that's mine!" Implying that we kind of ripped the flower out of his hands and shoved money in there instead.
Which, like, not wrong.
Anyway, so that's that quest I was talking about earlier that we wanted to save, that we wanted to finish Ophelia in order to do. That badge of friendship, while equipped, gives 1.5 times job point growth.
Mm-hmm.
Which is going to be really nice because We need it. So sell stuff, buy, walk up to the store, buy a single Herb of Revival, and leave. I'm not sure what the other sides of that McDonald's triangle are, but... So yeah, we're getting into the point of the game where I'm just knocking out plot and dungeons very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And like, these boss fights might look really easy when I do them correctly, but do not worry. If I do a single one of these menus incorrectly, things go pear-shaped very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, here, well, for one, I need to put the Badge of Friendship on. Honey also needs to become a warrior to learn Spearhead. And if I don't learn that, this fight becomes a lot scarier. Yeah, so one of the other mechanics in this game that I haven't talked about is if you use the defend command, you go first on the next turn outside of any enemies who are coming back from being broken.
Mm-hmm.
And we use that to great effect to like try to maximize the amount of time that enemies are broken. Here, since I taught Spear Point, it has the special effect of I do a attack and then get that going first next turn effect.
Mm-hmm.
So what it means is Honey will be able to break the boss on the start of her turn, and we'll have the entire rest of the turn, and if we needed it, the entire rest of the next turn with the boss broken. Now granted, in this case, we don't need the entire rest of the next turn, because we're just going to take this friendo out very quickly.
Nice.
Yeah. Jobs. Honey goes to merchant, learns anyone's skill, and then goes back to being an apothecary.
Nice. More menuing. Let's go.
Woo! And by making Hanit become a merchant for a brief second, it means Ophelia is currently no longer a merchant. It's fine. So now we're doing the rest of the plot that we missed earlier because we teleported away. Ooh, nice surprise. The nice thing about getting a You Surprise Your Foe is that you can run away 100% of the time. Okay. That fight. Anyway, while we're running through things, I'm just gonna take a brief moment and call a few shots. How do you feel about quad nines?
That's a good question.
You want to see a quad nine?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, I can guarantee that at a certain point during this run, not this fight, I think we'll be able to hit a quad 9.
I believe.
Yeah. So Ophelia defends here, and then she bonks this boy with her staff. Prim, dancer skills, and dance on Hanit, which is a nice little interaction because amputate is a physical attack. Right. Just hello. So here we're going to do Tressa Chapter 3 now. As we kind of just knock down the last couple of... You know what? When we say... No, it's not you who has it. Heck.
Heck.
You? There's a backup soulstones here, and I'm just going to pick up one because I want to be a little safe right now. Okay. So we're just going to ignore the rest of Tressa Chapter 3 for now and do Hanit Chapter 3 instead. Haha! I tricked you!
What? How could you do me like this, Leggy? What? How does that work? You're able to pause people's chapters and then do a different one?
Yeah, as long as you're not in like the first part of the first chapter, you can just peace out.
I didn't know that at all, honestly. I thought you were kind of locked into that character's chapter once you started it.
I mean, you can't do you can't do another chapter that's in that town. But yeah, you can just peace out and go to another town.
So funny.
This boy is kind of annoying in Hanit single story because this panic slash can run you into a lot of trouble because you can take a lot of damage from him.
Sure.
You don't quite have the massive amount of health that you do in this particular category. But even with the 2 turns of panic slashing, we took care of that rather nicely. Alright, menu. Primrose, any 3 thief skills. And then we're going over to merchant. Tressa becomes a thief, learns any 4, and once again, we are fishing for a particular passive.
Mm-hmm.
Skills, support skills. Honey gets grows on trees over cover, and summon strength over endless items. Everyone else just gets snatch, which basically doubles the amount of stuff we get from collect and steal. Collect we've already seen, it's the one that gives us money. Steal is the thief skill. Instead of money, it gives you items. This screen is currently my nemesis. Because if an encounter spawns, it happens at the last second, and also we've got enough defensive skills up that we take forever for the enemies to kill us.
Oh no.
But we've had really good encounter luck so far.
Absolutely. It's been really clutch.
Okay, second turn escape. I will take that on that screen.
Nice.
I've got plenty of olives that I can feed people to bring them back from the dead.
Good stuff. Olives are potent in this game.
Right? Alright, so I did not get an autosave going into this screen, but I'm just gonna go for it. No! No! At the last second.
That's so sad. You hate to see it.
Alexa, play Despacito.
Honestly.
Yeah. So that was a risk. And I got super punished.
Dang.
So now I gotta do that first screen again too. Luckily, I already did my menu, so I don't have to do that again. And there's really nothing you can do when you get caught in like an encounter like this.
Yeah.
Outside of just keep trying and hope.
Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do? It's not like you can fight them.
Right. Like, I could, I just don't have strats in my back pocket for how.
Yeah, and it's like, in terms of items, you know, you don't want to use your critical items you need for later fights and stuff like that.
Yeah, especially on screens where, you know, you don't have the fight routed into it.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah. And so like I was saying, you know, this game isn't super punishing in terms of like, this doesn't kill the run or anything, but it is just going to be a massive amount of time loss. Oofa doofa.
Sometimes encounters are just big oof, you know?
Yeah, big oof. Yeah, this is why, this particular section is like my nemesis in this category.
Absolutely. I can totally see why.
All right, made it back. See, and sometimes you can just straight up make it.
Yeah.
That's the worst part. Like,
knowing you can make it is so rude.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And Tressa uses a large light. Wait, why is Primrose a warrior? Did I mess up? Oh, jeez. Okay. Yeah, I have to wipe this fight now. This is unfortunate. Wow. Yeah. Menuing gets you every time.
It's so hard.
Yeah.
Menuing is impossible. No one's ever menued. No one has
No
ever
one's
menued.
ever menued.
I don't believe in it.
Menuing is a myth.
It is. Perpetuate. It's a lie. A myth.
Okay. Made it again. Made it again.
There we go.
But yeah, like, without that second merchant, I literally cannot get through this fight with all of the things I need to get through this game. That's just how tightly routed every single one of these fights is.
Absolutely.
First merchant. Defend. All right. Yeah, and heck, without the second merchant, I might not even be able to clear the fight in general because I don't have the double hired help. Nice proc. Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah, without the ability to do that collect there, I don't even have enough money to get through.
Heck.
So, I really needed to come back and make sure I had the two merchants. So yeah, that was like 4 minutes of time loss. Just to some bad luck and one bad menu.
You know, it happens, but
yeah,
marathon run, we're moving forward, it's all good.
Oh yeah, no. It's more just like showing how on a knife's edge this game can be when you're trying to play it as quickly as possible. Anyway, we're going to take a brief window pop up this way, grab a few more boxes. Because as you noticed, I'm running a little tight on cash. I had to steal 36k from that dragon to be able to afford that last bit of hired help. So we definitely need a little help as a treat. Because we are starting to get into the parts of the game where bosses are going to take, 3 or 4 uses of hired help.
They're bulky.
Like, they expect you to be doing massive amounts of damage.
Yep, absolutely.
Just probably not this particular way. All right, we're going to do another save and reset here to reset the threat, because there's a box in here with 15k money, but picking it up is just in that scary range for movement. Even after that save and reset. Okay, I made it to the book, so I am going to save here so we don't have to do the run again. But yeah, we do get the encounter. Alright, well, if I have to wipe, at least I wiped at a point where I don't have to worry about encounters in this dungeon anymore. Alright. So Hanit is going to defend. Ophelia, 3 skills. Armor corrode. I've got a medium stone. And Tressa is going to cast Firestorm. Winter skills. Rain of arrows. Item palm onto Primrose. Emergent skills. Big hired help. And here's where the shenanigans get into play. Ophelia is going to defend to make sure she goes first on this turn so that I can feed Primrose another pomegranate to make sure that she has enough to do a max power collect.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we're down to 4 more bosses.
That's awesome. Yeah, how are we doing in terms of pace, in terms of the estimate? How's it going overall?
Well, going into Honey Chapter 3, I was about 5 minutes ahead of PB.
Awesome.
Currently, I am 20 seconds.
20 seconds ahead still?
Yep, just barely.
Yo, we're still ahead. That's what matters.
Yeah, PB's a PB.
Never PB by too much. That's the old tale, isn't it?
Indeed. But yeah, no, this has been like an incredible run all the way through. Like, yeah, the time loss in the dragon section was deeply unfortunate, but like, I am in no way disappointed with how I've been playing tonight. All right, talk to you. That box. Hop in here. So I got an autosave when I changed screens here.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, doing that does not reset my threat because changing screens to a new screen only resets threat if both the name and the danger level are different. And unfortunately, on all the screens of this mansion, the name and danger level are the same. So I had to save and quit there in order to make sure that I don't get any encounters. But anyway, here's this boy. Ophelia, these skills. Armor Crowed 2. Hey, remember when I was talking about quad 9s?
Yes. Is it time?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Wind. Your skills, leg hold trap, which basically means that the boss will act last this turn. Rain of arrows. Tressa is going to skills. Hired help. Primrose is going to dancer skills, lion dance, Anit. Defend. Pomegranate. Tressa. Collect. Help. To finish it off, boom.
いい戦いだった。
All right. All right. Equipment. Ophelia gets the Conscious Stone. Tressa removes the bracelet. Remove the crest. Equip the crest and the bracelet. Jobs. Honey goes to Merchant. Learns anyone's skill. And then goes to Warrior.
Manuing.
Goes to Merchant. Learns any 2. Then goes back to being a thief. Tressa gets sidestep plus anything. Goes back to being a scholar. Primrose goes to Merchant. Gets sidestep and trade tempest. And then we go to support skills. So over grows on trees, we get cover. Over hidden senses, we get hang tough. Yeah, hang tough is a really nice skill where if my HP is not in like a critical range, I can't get one shot. All right, and I need to go to the shop. Yeah, because I need to get over a threshold of money. There we go. Which is going to be nice because, you know, we're getting into final chapter bosses, which can be tricky.
Absolutely.
Sorry, let me rephrase that. Can and will be tricky.
Are tricky.
Yeah, there we go. Obviously, we had a bit of an easier time with Mateus, who was Ophelia's Chapter 4 boss. I think that boss is just a little easy. Like, I think that's just straight up what's going on there, specifically for this party setup. But this fight, Esmeralda, is definitely long, involved, and a little scary.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, the fight after her is even worse. Don't get me wrong. Okay. Well, here we go. All right. Ophelia is going to defend. Primrose is going to merchant skill. Trade wins. Defend. And merchant skill, donate BP to Primrose. Warrior skills, 1,000 spears. Thief skills, armor corrode 3. Tressa is going to defend, and we are going to do another big hired help.
Hired help? No boy.
Right? Imagine. We're gonna hire even more help. Prim is going to eat a pomegranate. Hanit is going to use Insight, which means she is going to tank the next hit. And we are going to feed Tressa a pomegranate.
Yummy. Nutrition.
So, bye, Hanit. It's been nice knowing you.
See you later.
Okay. So Tressa is going to cast Firestorm. Primrose is going to defend. And there's my olives. Skills, hired help. Mercs 4. Collect left. And defend. Here, thief. We're going to steal. Get ourselves some rune knives, which we're going to turn directly into cash. Pomegranate up Primrose. And then we're going to hire some more help.
Woo! Nice.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, so we've got a little bit of downtime. We're going to finish off the side quest with the lady we decided to guide all those chapters ago. So if you have anything you want to read, now would be a great time to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to talk a little bit about some of the incentives and bid wars we have coming up for more stuff during the marathon. So the next incentive we have to meet is for Giraffe and Anika to raise the rhythm game difficulty. So that would mean we would play the boss fights on a hard instead of easy. So we have a little bit of a ways to go for that incentive if you would like to see that. There's also a bunch of options for games coming up. You can choose between English and Japanese voice acting for No Straight Roads. You can name the hero for Neopia 2, and you can choose player 2's character for Shenji Sailor Moon R, and many of other incentives that you can see with exclamation mark incentives to see all the wonderful things coming up for the rest of the marathon.
Yeah, come on, chat. Let's make sure we get that higher difficulty incentive met. That's going to be a hecking good time. You do not want that to go unmet. I'm going to pop in here, grab that 30k and peace out. For once, we aren't going to piece like all the way out. But we're going to back and sell a few things. I need 112. There we go. So yeah, this is Primrose's Chapter 4 dungeon. And the boss here is one of the rudest fights in this game, in my opinion.
Oh no, and it's right at the end of the run.
Right? I mean, luckily, because this is not a single story route, we definitely have enough power that he's scripted. But oh gosh, is he a pain. Simeon is a two-part fight, which is already frustrating, because that's two fights you have to be on top of. And in his second phase, his whole shtick is that he can silence you, which means you can't use your special attacks. Which is like super annoying. And it's the whole reason we bought all those herbs of clamor earlier. Luckily, with Hanit running around as a apothecary, we do have some protection against that. Because skills, support skills on Ophelia, endless. Yeah, there we go. Now we do have some protection because the apothecary has the rehabilitate skill, which removes and prevents status effects from being inflicted on a target for a couple of turns. So it basically allows us to words deal with that silencing very easily. Ah, heck, I messed up. So I'm gonna have to wipe this because I was supposed to do things differently. Yeah, and as you can see, one mistake in this particular run, and you just have to reset the fight. Luckily, I saved. And there's a sweep to clean us up. Cool. But you can tell that I'm starting to feel the fatigue of doing all of this incredibly tricky menuing for 4 hours. And that's, kind of how this run goes. You have to be on it the entire time if you want to.
It's a lot that goes into this kind of run. It's awesome.
Yeah. Like, RPG runs are an endurance challenge. Leg hold. Tressa is supposed to use Firestorm here. And then Ophelia bonks Simeon. Armor corrode. We're going to feed pomegranate. And Tressa is just going to stab. Alright. So here I want to use collect. And defend. Defend. Because I need to steal. And then we drop this Soul Stone to finish off phase 1.
Nice. Just drop that Soul Stone. Mic drop, you know?
Yeah. So here comes the actual tricky part of the fight. So, Primrose is going to defend. Okay, Tressa is silenced. That's fine. Dagger, dagger. Yeah. Apothecary skills. Rehabilitate 2 on Ophelia. Just to put up that defense against being silenced. Large pomegranate to Primrose, who is going to just go full stabby with daggers. I guess I can throw a medium stone early because you don't have anything to do right now. Ophelia, thief skills, armor corrosive. And then Tressa throws a large stone. Your apothecary skills rehabilitate Tressa. Skills, donate BP to Tressa. Here we throw another large stone. And merchant skills, hired help. Alright, he's gonna come back. He's gonna do a big AoE silence.
No problem.
Yep. Okay, so Tressa is going to use Firestorm. Hanit is going to use one of those Herbs of Clamor, if I can find them in my inventory, on Primrose, who is going to defend. And Ophelia is going to do 3 sword swings. Prim merchant skills, hired help, Mercs 3. Plant herself on Hanit. Different skills. Donate BP over to Primrose. Thief skill. Armor Corrode. Help. Help. Medium stone. And to cap it all off, a big amputation.
Nice.
Alright, one more.
Alright, I believe.
Alright, so the first thing we're going to do going into this, final boss, definitely a little scary, is to take off all of Hanit's equipment. And then sell it. We're also going to make Hanit a warrior. I'm doing good on soul stones for this fight, so don't have much to worry about on that front. I'm going to save here because this is one of the parts where the autosave can get me. Do you want to guess where my last autosave is right now?
A long time ago?
Yeah, before the last boss fight.
Oh, I hate that. I hate that.
Yeah, it's not great.
Oh, no.
I found that one out the hard way.
Oh, no.
In one of my, many runs of this game so far. So yeah, saved there just to have that backup, just to have that save just in case enemies decided to jump me down here. Saving on the first book in the second screen as part of normal routing for this dungeon. And now it's time for Red Eyes.
Let's go.
Who is definitely not shaped like a friend.
No. No.
Pomegranate to Tressa. Medium pomegranate to self. Hanit is going to defend. Tressa is going to Scholar Skills Firestorm. Warrior Skills Thousand Spears. Emergent Skills Sidestep. Sidestep is a really nice skill that we haven't really used until now. But what it does is basically lets you dodge the next physical attack that's sent your way. So when Red Eyes comes back from the break, he's gonna do like a big AoE attack on everyone. And so these sidesteps will basically mean that my merchants just get to ignore that fact.
Nice. You love that.
Yeah, you'll love to see it. Ilya defends. Alright, we had Ophelia defend because this is why I have that one Herb of Revival, and it's to make sure that Honey doesn't stay unconscious here.
Mm-hmm.
Tressa is going to Firestorm. Rose is going to Large Fire. Honey is going to defend. And max out Spear Attack. Merchant skills. Collect. Item. Palm. Large Soulstone. And time is going to be once I clear the second cutscene. So cutscene 1 clears, cutscene 2 clears, and time.
Nice, GG.
Thank you. And with all that consternation, I am only 30 seconds off my PB.
Yo, that's great.
Yeah. So clearly, PB is coming.
Yes.
Tune in to watch my stream to watch it happen.
Yes. Go give Leggy a follow. That was such an amazing run of all female travelers Octopath. Anything else you want to say, Leggy, before we swap to the next run?
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to Lordy Buddykins, whose runs of this in the Frame Fatales marathons was kind of the inspiration for me to pick up this game at all. And I just want to give thanks to the Power Up with Pride organization in general for letting me showcase this year.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Leggy. Absolutely loved that run. Super excited for the rest of the marathon. So thank you everyone for being here, watching, and donating, and all the donations go towards the Trevor Project. And up next we have Mighty Gunvolt, which we are going to get set up for right now. So stay tuned for that.